Welcome back to Old Fox Racing PlayStation. Has been a while since we covered round 3 of the Transatlantic Cup. We now have round 4 out of 5, so races number 7 and 8, and we've got the change of car from the Ginetta G50 to the Renault Clio Cup car that we, for the first time in Old Fox Racing PlayStation, used in an official event, and also the first time we're changing cars since in a championship. That is, since we started doing single car championships back in 2022. Nevertheless, it's an exciting race here at Long Beach. Nice car for this track. We've got 9 drivers, and Delphi Moura is on pole position, followed by Diogo Silva. Second row, it's Scott Davely in that yellow car, and George Zouge. Then the third row, Simon Allen, and then ahead. Fourth row, it's Peter Adrian and Gonçalo Mota. And in ninth place, it is Kev Allen. What can he do from the back? We're going to watch this racetrack side. We've got 13 laps here at Long Beach, and it's going to be go, go, go very shortly. And away they go, and it's a good start from pole position, man. Delphi Moura, Diogo Silva trying to go defensive there on Scott Davely. Scott maintains third place, followed by George Zouge and Simon Allen. Scott up into second place. Oh no, this is a problem with the leaderboard that we are about to see. Delphi Moura is not being scored. Oh, and there's a crash there, and there's a car going into... Oh, whoa, whoa. There is, well, several things going on there. We can see Scott Davely has been delayed. Scott Davely has been delayed, and so has Peter Adrian, and I think Simon Allen was involved in this as well. We'll get the replay in 1 second, but we can tell you that Delphi Moura is the leader of this race, but the leaderboard is not showing it. It's showing him in 9th place, 1 lap down, but that's clearly wrong, because because he's leading the race, and we've seen this problem before with the leaderboard. Let's have a quick look at what happened here with Simon Allen, as he was involved in an incident. And behind him, it's Darren Head. Now it's Peter Adrian. In fact, that's the 176 car, the blue and grey car. Now they go into turn 1. This is quite a tricky corner. Diogo Silva going defensive there. George Zouge and Scott Davely, and oh, there's contact there between and the cars just got tangled, and Simon Allen is out of control, goes into Scott Davely, and Scott is then... Oh, there's a second incident here between Peter Adrian, Gonçalo Mota, and Scott, of course. Scott ends up in the fountain, and let's have a quick look at this from another car perspective, as Gonçalo Mota was the other driver. I believe Peter Adrian and Scott were still recovering from that first incident, and this is what happened. You can see here it's Peter Adrian and Simon Allen collide there in front. There is Darren Head. He was almost getting collected there, but then Scott Davely gets hit by Simon Allen, and now, well, Gonçalo Mota is going to... Oh, he was trying to go and overtake both of them, and that did not go very well, and the cars are now recovering, and I believe we're going to have potentially a safety car here. Yes, we have a safety car. You can see leader Delphi Moura already slowing down. So this is a new rule in Old Fox Racing PlayStation, just to avoid drivers like Peter and Scott, who you can see there at the back, just to prevent them from losing a lot of time. As long as the incident is on the first lap, and we only allow 1 incident per race on the first lap, as long as there are 2 or more cars involved, and as long as they fall towards the end of the grid, a manual safety car will be called. And this is now Delphi Moura's turn to lead the field now, back to racing speed, and there they go. This is the restart, and of course we're going to see very defensive moves here. Everyone's just trying to go on the inside. We've got the 3 wide situation there at the back, almost between Darren Head, George Zouge and Simon Allen, and did everyone go through? No! Simon Allen is turned around. We'll get the replay of what happened. Unfortunately, no safety car is allowed now, and Simon Allen is going to lose quite a lot of time. We'll get the replay of what happened here. He lost an enormous amount of time with this incident, and he will not be able to get another safety car to recover at least the time, not the position. But this was at the restart, frantic restart. Simon Allen in 4th place there. He tries to go around Diogo Silva, who is, George Zush, who is also trying to overtake Diogo Silva. Everyone is going a little bit defensive, but oh, it's the 163 car, that's Darren Head, that came and joined that party and then hit Scott and another driver there, I think it was Gonçalo Mota, also, and Peter Adrian also involved in here. No reset button allowed. And Simon Allen ends up losing an enormous amount of time. We will see if he's going to be able to recover any positions, but it's Delphi Moura who is leading this race and is leading the first lap out of 13, followed by Diogo Silva and Jorge Jesus. As the other drivers go through the end of the first lap, as Darren Head now in 3rd spot. Darren Head in 4th spot, sorry. You need to add 1 to pretty much everyone's position because Delphi Moura is scored in 9th, but he's effectively leading the race. Things a bit quieter now through the field, and we cannot see also the gap between 1st and 2nd because the leader is not being scored, but it's a 2nd and a bit potentially. Diogo Silva still defending there from Jorge Jesus. In 3rd place. 4th is Darren Head. Nice camera shot, this one here in this Long Beach street circuit. This is race number 7 out of 10, and multiple drivers there almost clipping the wall there. We'll keep an eye on battles, and there are several battles through the field. Gonçalo Mota up into 5th place, 6th is Kev Allen, 7th. Sorry, 6th is Gonçalo Mota, 7th is Kev Allen, 8th is Peter Adrian, and 9th of course is Simon Allen. And someone hit the wall there. Someone hit the wall there, and I believe it was Kev Allen. Yes, it was. Kev Allen loses the position down into 6th place. Now under pressure for Peter Adrian with Gonçalo Mota up into 5th. Let's see if we get... Well, we're not even seeing... Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We have a lot of problems. What happened to Jorge Jesus? So Delphi Moura is leading the race, followed by Diogo Silva. And something has happened to Jorge Jesus, and this is not a leaderboard problem. It is an actual problem with Jorge Jesus, because he scored... is now appears behind Simon Allen. Simon Allen was running last. And this is what happened here with Jorge Jesus, as he is trying to park his car, and did he get any help is the question, as he was running in 3rd place, and we shall see in the chase camera we kind of missed that incident. That Clio is probably going a little bit too fast in that. Oh yes, it is going too fast, and oh, it is just a little bit unlucky, and oh, it gets hit by Darren Head, and almost there by I believe Gonçalo Mota as well. He loses an enormous amount of time. He's got to negotiate this tight track, and he ends up dropping to 9th. So this is massive for Jorge Jesus. Simon Allen did have quite a big incident, lost a lot of time, and still is ahead of Jorge Jesus, which is quite surprising. They're running 9th and 8th, and 7th is Peter Adrian, and putting pressure, on Kev Allen, putting pressure on Kev Allen, as we are now on lap number 3 out of 13. Kev Allen in 6th place, followed by Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo Mota already has a bit of a gap there, and race at the front. As Darren Head is in 4th place. Apologies, got a bit confused with the leaderboard there. Let's scroll through the field. as Delphi Motor continues to lead this race. From Diogo Silva. They've checked out from other drivers. Third is Scott Davely, nicely done there by Scott, even with all that, all those problems on lap 1. Scott Davely, of course, benefiting from the safety car rule, but still he was sitting dead last when, well, I believe he still crossed the line in 9th. Now he's defending from Darren Head in 3rd place. Darren Head very interested in that position. This is a nice battle here on the 4th lap out of 13. As we continue to follow them through this Long Beach circuit, it seems to me that Darren Head is a bit faster at this point than Scott. We'll keep an eye on this battle. They have 3 seconds of a gap over Gonçalo Mota, another driver that did benefit from the safety car, followed by, and by the way, Peter Adrian has gone ahead of Kev Allen. Kev Allen not moving in the right direction in this race. He started 9th, currently sitting 7th. Oh, and the Peter Adrian just lost it. Oh, drifting there. But Kev Allen is going to recover the position, surely. And this is the problem with Long Beach. Oh, they're running side by side. Not ideal through that corner. We'll see if they both make it. And yes, that was good behavior for both of them. Leaving each other space. Kev Allen with a very curious livery. Looks like almost looks like the Pornhub logo there on his car. Not so sure that's the case. Peter Adrian drops 1 position, now in 7th. Let's have a look at Scott Davely and Darren Head, because they are not that far behind Diogo Silva, but they're still in this imbroglio with one another. Battling for 3rd place, last podium place. Delphi Moura is comfortable in the lead of the race. We do not know the gap. It's maybe 2 or 3 seconds. I would imagine Diogo Silva trying not to lose touch there, but he's done a slower lap, 1:38.52 for Delphi Moura, and Diogo Silva in 2nd place with a 1:31.663 in that number 29 car. He's trying to hold on to the leader, but not sure he's well, I'm sure he's losing time. We do not have the gap, but we'll keep an eye on the lap times. 3rd place man is Scott Davey, the American driver from Wisconsin, not exactly at home here in California, and we certainly race at places closer to his home like Road America, but nevertheless he's running in the United States, followed by Darren Head. And by the way, Gonçalo Mota has lost touch with this duo. He's done a 1:33.278. That's not a great lap time. And Peter Adrian and Kev Allen, who continue to be together, they are not far behind. The drivers on the move are these two, 8th and 9th. Simon Allen actually was overtaken by George Dush. Remember that Simon Allen got into trouble in this exact corner on the 1st lap, getting contact from Darren Head. And then George Zuzo, and they bump one another, and Simon Allen is going to go for the move. That was almost working, that bump and run, but the run part was a bit missing there, as George Zuzo also got into trouble in that corner on his own. I believe it was on the 2nd lap. Now we are on lap 6, so we are at the midpoint of this race. And these drivers are a little bit on the move because they are running faster. Well, 1:32.225, that's not a very good lap time for George Jesus. 1:33.7, they are kind of like losing a bit of time just by battling with one another, and probably with a bit more focus they would work together to at least get to the back of the drivers in front, the yellow car of Kev Allen and also Peter Adrian, not far behind, but still I believe they might still be in the mix, as the gap now seems to be bigger at the front. Scott Davely still continues to defend from Darren Head, 3rd and 4th, and so far the Clio has done a good job here at this track. Seems to be a track that is suitable for this Cup car. As they complete another lap, we are now on the 2nd half of this race, because the leader is already on lap 7. That's Delphi Mora. And well, Darren Head is putting pressure on Scott, but not really able to make a move at this point. And he was certainly closer a couple of laps ago, I believe, than he is now. He seems to be losing a little bit of time. Let's have a look at Peter Adrian and Scott Davely. Sorry, Peter Adrian and Kev Allen. I apologize. And someone has had a problem. Surely that's Simon Allen. Simon Allen has lost quite a lot of time, and he was running quite close to George Zouch, and we are not quite sure what happened there. But it could be that we have potentially an incident that we haven't seen. So we're just rewinding a little bit, not too much, to see if we can capture what happened to Simon Allen. He's done the 142. It was on the previous lap, not on this one. Thankfully, it's a relatively short lap here. Around. Oh no, here he is. And in this view, he's still behind. He's still behind George Zouch. Now what happened? Was it the breaking point or was it a spin? Oh, it was not the spin or the breaking point. It was just clipping the inside barrier and then ending up in the tires. No use of the reset button, so that's good. But you can see just a minor mistake on this circuit is enough to lose 10 seconds, and that's what happened to Simon Allen. Unfortunately, that has destroyed his race once again. George Zouch still has hopes to get to the back of Kev Allen and Peter Adrian. So George Zouch is still in the hunt for the championship, and he definitely needs a better result than his current 8th place. Let's look at the lap times. 1:31.410. That's pretty good. As only the top four are on 130s or 131s. In fact, the only driver on 130s is race leader Delphi Mora, who is continuously faster than Diogo Silva. Look at the gap now; it must be around 5 seconds. So Delphi Mora, who already won multiple races this season, is en route to another victory. And it will be interesting to see drivers managing tires on this second half of the race. Let's see, and we'll keep an eye on this gap, at least visually. But at the moment, it seems that Delphi Mora definitely has is stronger at this point. Diogo Silva in second place, holding on to that position. And Darren has had a problem. Oh no, he's not had a problem. He's overtaken Scott Davely. This was the move that we were hoping to see, and it was on the inside, and I believe it was because potentially Scott made a mistake. We'll keep an eye on. Well, let's have a look. Darren has a bit of a run here, but then now Scott, is he going to clip the barrier? No, he doesn't, but he loses momentum there. And now this is going to be job done for Darren Head, and it's not easy to make a clean overtake with this car. Well, the cars have obviously the same power and the same setup for the most part. You can choose between loose and stable, the default setups in Project Cars 2, but in this car they're very similar. Not a lot of things to change in this car. And now Darren Head is running in 3rd spot. Scott Davely drops to 4th. Scott Davely drops to 4th place. Then it's Kev Allen. Then it's Peter Adrian. Gonçalo Mota, I apologize. Then it's Peter Adrian, Kev Allen, and George Zouch has got to the back of Kev Allen. This is going to be interesting because Kev has lost a little bit of steam there, as in fact it's Peter that is closer to. Look at the lap times. They're not much between the lap times there. 132.3 for Darren Head, 133.4 for Scott Davely. That wasn't a great lap. 132.5 for Peter Adrian. Oh, look at this. He's parking in the flowers. That's certainly not allowed there at the fountain. And Kev Allen just made life easier for George Zouch to go through. Drops to 8th place. Oh no, George Zouch, he lost it. And and Kev Allen is almost going to hit him. This was close. Close contact there. Kev Allen did a great job avoiding the stationary car of George Zuz. Of course, no damage in All Folks Racing PlayStation, but if he had hit, he would probably lose control of his own machine. And George Zuz, after overtaking Kev Allen at the fountain following an error by Kev, ends up messing up in the following corner, and it's all back to square zero for George Zuz, and this is not helping his championship aspirations, as we are now on lap 9 out of 13, and it seems to me that the gap is maybe around 5-6 seconds is what I think it is. Dennis Darren had. Darren is 5 seconds behind Diogo Silva, still having to contend with Scott Davely in 4th place and running a little bit wide there in turn 1. Through the fountain they go. This is and Scott Davely, you can see that his tires are not in very good condition. He missed the apex there, the right line towards the fountain, ended up losing a little bit of time. He's running wide, so probably tire wear becoming a bit of a problem. He's running wide here again, almost clipped the tires. He still has a gap of almost 9 seconds over Gonçalo Mota, who is now under pressure from Peter Adrian. So Peter Adrian doing a great job after that incident in turn 1. Fortunately for him, the safety car rule allowed him to not lose touch with the field. He then got well, avoided all that action with Simon Allen, Darren Head, etc. to capture this 6th position, and now he's going for 5th, and we still have 4 laps to go at the end of this one. So not everything is lost. Now Kev Allen has lost time with that flower excursion at the fountain on the previous lap. He's getting caught again by George Zuz, battle for 7th place, sorry, with George Zuz running in 8th and Simon Allen having a really bad day. He's probably hoping to just drop this result from the entire championship. Of course, drivers in 10 races, only the top 8 races count. So if a driver misses a race or has a bad day like Simon Allen is having, at least he's almost, oh, and that, ooh! Delphi Moura was almost losing it. He clipped the tires. Fortunately did not spin. He's got, well, maybe he doesn't need to be trying as hard at this point. He's at a 132.2. Well, he's lost time to Diogo Silva for the first time in many laps. Diogo Silva 130.183, which is his best lap of the best lap of his own race. Darren Head now 6 seconds behind, so he's losing time. Scott Davely also losing a bit of steam, and you can see in the second half of the race that some drivers are really not comfortable with this car when the tires start becoming a little bit worn. Let's see what's happening at the front. Delphi Moura made a mistake in the last lap. He still has a very comfortable cushion over Diogo Silva, now on lap 11 out of 13, so 3 laps including this one to go. Darren Head definitely seems to be consolidating his position in 3rd spot. Scott Davely, Gonçalo Mota, we haven't seen too much of that number 5 except that incident on the first lap, but he's kept it together since then and is holding on to that 5th place. George Zuz, by the way, has gone up. Oh, something happened to Peter Adrian for sure, because George Zuz was not George Zuz was in 8th, sorry. Now he's shown in 6th. Kev Allen has lost a place as well, and I'm not certain this all has happened just on the track without any incidents, because it does seem too good to be true. And oh yes, and this is what happened. Whoa, it seems that, oh, in fact it was Peter Adrian on Gonçalo Mota, and this is an incident we haven't caught before. Is he going to try to go for it? Yes, ooh, that's a bit... Oh, no, no, he's not trying to overtake. He just lost control. Now he's coming back. Right, oh, and he gets hit by Kev Allen. Gets hit by Kev Allen, and... Oh, and then loses it, and George Jesus appears to me that he... Well, he has not hit anyone, but he's benefited from that situation. Let's have a look at this from his perspective. I think it was a very opportunistic move, as Peter Adrian completely misses the breaking point there in turn 1. Now Kev Allen is... Oh, and Kev Allen really did a good job there, because, well, Peter did come back to the track a little bit precariously. Let's have a look at this from Kev Allen's perspective. He is now trying to overtake Peter Adrian, and George Jesus, of course, the biggest beneficiary of this situation. And let's see what happened here. And well, Kev, well, he saw him coming, really. This was... George Jesus did a great job there not to hit anything, and then actually forces a little bit of an error there by Peter, and gets 2 positions in one go. Nice job there by George Jesus, one of the best moves of the race, surely, and salvaging now a 6th position, which is a well, much better result than 8th in terms of points. Kev Allen still behind Peter Adrian, and that was, I mean, very close to being an unsafe release there for Peter. I mean, Kev, it is a slow corner, and Kev saw it coming and adjusted his speeds. Doesn't seem to me that he lost a lot of time. He lost a bit of momentum, and George Jesus read the situation perfectly, getting the 2 positions almost in one go in 2 consecutive corners. And now Peter is he was in 6th place, now in 7th, and he's seeing his race go from quite good to not so good, as Kev Allen does seem to have a bit more momentum. We have 3 laps to go now, and of course this battle is far from over. Simon Allen, by the way, he's 5 seconds behind this group. He never managed to rejoin the pack. And the Allens are running at the back in this race. We have not seen that in a while, with Kev running in 8th and Simon running in 9th. That might change still. That still might change in the last couple of laps. As this is the closest battle right now on the entire field. Let's have a quick look at the leaderboard. Let's run through the field now with almost 2 laps to go. We'll see what's going on at the front of the field, and it's a familiar face there. It's Delphi Moura who is going to win the race, followed by Diogo Silva if he can hang on for the last 2 laps. Darren Head, where is he compared to Scott Davely? A couple of seconds between the 2. In fact, it's 1.5 seconds. No, it's not. No, it's 2 seconds actually. Apologize for that. And George Jesus is up into 5th place. Gonçalo Mota has had a problem. And this is what you see in this type of racing. The last few laps, the incidents start to happen, and this is what happened to Gonçalo Mota on his own. And this is a classic one where those tires are perfectly located to just cause this problem, and he's used the reset button, so that's going to be 1 penalty point for Gonçalo Mota in this race. Unfortunately, it's going to be a penalty point, automatic penalty point for use of the reset button. When he should have just gone back to the track by his own means. Nevertheless, he lost 1 position, and this is turning to be quite a good race for George Jesus from an unlikely 8th place. He's now in 5th with 2 laps to go. On board with your race leader, it's Delphi Moura. He's 1.5 seconds away from another win here at Long Beach in the first race. And interestingly, we cannot see which gear he is on the replay, something that I did not know in Project Cars 2 in the camera shot. It doesn't show which gear is on, which is interesting. It doesn't save that information. Diogo Silva in second place. Can he still see Delphi Moura? Yes, he can, but he cannot get there in 1.5 laps. Darren Head in third spot. Fourth spot is Scott Davely. They're still together, around 2 seconds. Fifth place is George Zouge, but he is a massive 13 seconds behind Scott. Then is Gonçalo Mota, that lost quite a lot of time even with that reset button situation. He's trying to hold on from Peter Adrian, who is and again, in contact between the two drivers as Gonçalo Mota makes a mistake in the same corner. And here comes Kev Allen. Kev Allen read the situation perfectly and overtook Peter Adrian finally, following that off. Peter Adrian's race not going in the right direction. He's now sitting in 8th spot. And remember, he was 5th or 6th at some point. He's definitely not as strong in the second half of this race as he was in the first part. And now this is going to be the last lap, and these three drivers are still going at it all, and he clips there the inside wall, which is not going to help his cause. Last lap is for Delphi Moura. Is still shown as lap number 12, but that's because we're not scoring the leader. But Delphi Moura is going to win this race. You can see Diogo Silva is already on lap 13. This has been yet another dominant performance by Delphi Moura. It's going to be another win, and surely now the championship is most likely going to go to Delphi Moura. He consolidates his lead in the championship. Diogo Silva still in the mix for the championship, finishes in second place. Third place is going to be to Darren Head, but the last few corners in that Monster Energy livery, the number 82, Nick Hamilton's car, it's going to be Delphi Moura. And he is going to win here at Long Beach, race number 1, race number 7 of the championship, and it's going to be Delphi Moura who wins the race, followed by Diogo Silva in the second place. Where is he? There he is. Third place is Darren Head, and look at this, Scott Davely got quite close in the end, but it's going to be third place for Darren Head, fourth place for Scott Davely. Fifth place is going to be Jorge Jesus, but look at this, there's a massive scramble there at the back between Gonçalo Mota, Peter Adrian, Kev Allen. Kev Allen on the outside there. Gonçalo Mota trying to defend on the inside, and look at this, nice move there by Kev, nice move also by Peter Adrian. That is going to try to go, Gonçalo Mota goes defensive, here comes on the outside of the last corner. This is not usually an overtaking spot, and I think that, and that this is, oh dear. This is, and Simon Allen is in the mix as well. And look at this, Peter Adrian going very defensive. We'll get the replay of what happened here. It's going to be Gonçalo Mota ahead of Peter Adrian. Let's have a look from Peter's chase camera on what happened here as a multiple big scramble there. And Kev Allen did an excellent job there, going on the outside, then on the inside. We'll have a quick look at how this panned out. Nice move. This is exactly the type of racing that we expect to see in a Clio. And it seems to me it all started with Gonçalo Mota perhaps losing time in this corner. This corner is just so tricky, as Peter Adrian was on the attack as well. Gonçalo Mota taking it a little bit easy there, but look at the momentum that Kev Allen got out of that corner. Gonçalo unsurprisingly goes defensive to the inside. Now Kev is going to do a master class here, because he's going to go on the outside and he's going to lead Gonçalo into outbraking himself, and now it says thank you very much, I got the position. It's 6th place for Kev Allen. Now Gonçalo Mota is having none of it. This is the last corner. Peter Adrian, this is a little bit ambitious on the last corner, and I think here it was probably Gonçalo's corner there, and it was still Gonçalo's position as they finished 7th and 8th, with Simon Allen finishing in 9th. But what a finish here at Long Beach, with Delphi Moura winning from Diogo Silva and Darren Head. But the battles throughout the field, of course, are always amazing here at Old Fox Racing PlayStation. So this was race number 7. Let's go straight into race number 8, which is exactly the same thing, same number of laps, same car and same track, as they go again head to head in this amazing track of Long Beach. Here it is a track in Long Beach, California, used for IndyCar, also IMSA on the same weekend, and a few other support races. Very traditional car, used to host Formula 1 until 1983, from 1975 to 1983 actually, with slightly different layouts. This is the current layout that finally has been stabilized in the last, well, 10-15 years or so. Not a very long circuit, 3.86 miles and 11 turns. I believe this is in miles, not in kilometers, although it could well be kilometers because it's a fairly short track. It's 1.5 minutes, but of course this is the Clio, not the fastest car out there, as we go for the qualifying results of for race 2. Diogo Silva followed by Delphi Moura, Darren Head, Simon Allen, George Jesus, Scott Davely, Kev Allen, Peter Adrian, and Gonçalo Mota only in 9th place. Let's see what he can do. He certainly had the pace for more in race 1, but let's see the start. Diogo Silva now on the pole. Can he hold on to that lead is the key question, and the answer is, oh, I don't think so, because Delphi Moura has had an amazing start, and this time around he's not getting no problems in the leaderboard this time around, but Diogo Silva already on the back foot, as they haven't even reached the first corner, as Darren Head is going to go for it as well, trying to go and overtake Diogo Silva. That's George Jesus there on the inside, and let's see if we have any incidents. Seems to me this time around that everyone is pretty well behaved through the corner, the first corner, as a bit of pushing and shoving there. Simon Allen, Kev Allen through the fountain, but everyone has behaved nicely. Peter Adrian lost the position to Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo up into 8th place. Darren Head is in 2nd place. Darren Head is in 2nd place. Darren Head is in 2nd place. What happened to Diogo Silva? He lost momentum there. Let's have a quick look at what happened, as this was quite a critical pass which we kind of missed. It was in turn 1, wasn't it? Or was it? As we can see the replay here, Diogo Silva, well, he went defensive in turn 1. There goes Delphi Moura, nice line there, and no, it was at the exit of the fountain most likely. Where is Darren Head? He's going to, oh no, it was here, wasn't it? Yes, oh, he's a two-wheeler there. Two-wheeler for Diogo Silva, which is not the fastest way around that corner. Now look at this, Darren Head is on the two-wheel himself, and look at this is absolutely amazing, as Darren Head does a two-wheeler after Diogo Silva did a two-wheeler. They're both under pressure from George Jesus, and Simon Allen, Scott Davely, sorry, is in that mix as well. Scott Davely changed his livery, and helpfully changed his livery. Now we've got 3 drivers with pretty much the same livery as Diogo Silva, the number 29. The number 28 is George Jesus, and Scott Davely surely is he's got a repeat livery. Yes, he has, as Diogo Silva is Diogo Silva on Darren Head, Diogo Silva on Darren Head, and that's going to be job done there. As yes, that the 2 number 28s here, Scott Davely gave up on his usual. Oh, look at this nice close racing, but I'll tell you, the driver that's loving this is Delphi Moura, because these drivers are all tangling with one another, and all of a sudden he's got 2.668 of a gap just on the first lap, as Diogo Silva and Darren Head are having fun with each other. Here comes Scott Kev Allen on Scott Davis. Scott goes defensive there. Scott goes defensive, and here comes, oh, and Kev Allen is going to go for it. No! And this is a well. Darren Head was the innocent victim there. We'll get a replay of what happened here, but well, Kev Allen, he did not have any bad intention, surely, but he completely seems to have missed the breaking point there. It was a valid move on Scott Davely, who was also going quite defensive there. Let's have a quick look at what happened here. Of course, they came like this from the last corner. It came a bit of a scramble. Scott, is he trying to make a move on Darren? Oh, and then, and this is it, just locked up, and Kev Allen is drops to last. Let's have a quick look from Darren's perspective on what happened here. He was in 4th or 5th, and oh, look at this. This is an interesting graphical. There he is. He's in 4th place, and well, not much to say here. Oh, look at this. He went to the ocean at some point, or to the sky. I believe it was the sky. incredibly, he ends up pointing in the right direction, but loses quite a bit of time. Now, what this has done is that it puts Delphi Moura firmly in control. Look at the battle there between Diogo Silva and Jorge Jesus. This is and again, Delphi Moura is absolutely loving this, as that number 29 and that number 28, and Scott Davely maintains his fourth place now, as the only driver that really lost time was Darren Head. Now we've got three liveries again together in second, third and fourth, and Diogo Silva going defensive there. Diogo Silva going defensive, and this is big because all these drivers still have championship aspirations, but Delphi Moura is just running away with it. And of course it doesn't really help. Look at this. Whoa, almost contact. Was there contact, or was this Diogo Silva sliding? I believe it was just him sliding as they go now through the second lap. Delphi Moura, Diogo Silva, Jorge Jesus, Scott Davely, Simon Allen having a much better race in race 2, followed by Gonçalo Mota, followed by Peter Adrian, followed then by Darren Head and Kev Allen, who are delayed, particularly Kev, who lost a lot of time with that incident, and surely the stewards are going to have a quick look at that as well, because it didn't look very good. Now what is interesting is that I believe Jorge Jesus does have the pace to go and challenge Delphi Moura. He just cannot absolutely find a way around Diogo Silva, who is driving for his life here, defending that second spot. As Delphi Moura, you guessed it, has increased his gap to 4.2, and he must be absolutely loving to see these battles on his rear view mirrors, because of course to drive like that, to drive defensively, you just need to go away from the right line. You need to just think through when is your breaking point, and this is exactly, look at this, he's going defensive again. Does he, Diogo Silva? He's going to go defensive, but Jorge Jesus is having none of it. Is he going to go for the outside? He's going for the outside, but he's not nearly close enough, as Diogo Silva now thinks that he's got and the slight contact between the two drivers there, as and of course even the slightest bit of contact. Diogo Silva is really slow right now, because he seems to be holding on to that, to now not only Jorge Jesus, but it's a complete train of cars. Something happened to Gonçalo Mota, by the way, and something structurally problematic has happened to Gonçalo Mota, because he was not in 8th place the last time we checked, and we will see if this is an incident or if this is, well, he was in 6th spot, and I believe he just lost it. This is just a difficult corner. Fortunately, it does not spin, but he's going to get overtaken. It's going to be a rush hour in Long Beach, California. There goes Peter Adrian, and Peter Adrian up into 6th place. And Peter brushes the wall himself there. Peter brushes the wall there, and look at this, everyone just throwing smoke out of those tires. Everyone just driving this car on the limit. Here comes Darren Head, who is recovering from that incident on lap 2, up into 7th place. Gonçalo Mota's race is not going in the right direction, and they have 9 seconds. They are 9 seconds ahead of Kev Allen, who really struggling to recover any ground. But Delphi Moura is done at 1:29.980. That's an incredible time. Look at this, Diogo Silva, 1:31.524. The gap is 5.4, and Delphi Moura is going to go for 2 wins in 2 races, as this train of cars here, led by Diogo Silva, Jorge Jesus, Scott Davely and Simon Allen. Look at this, there at the back, there's Peter Adrian and Darren Head. Darren overtook Gonçalo on the previous lap, and now he was almost overtaking Peter. Didn't quite work there, as he was not completely side by side there in turn 1. Nevertheless, it's a 3-way battle that we'll keep an eye on for sure. Diogo Silva has got himself a little bit of breathing space there. A couple of car lengths ahead of Jorge Jesus. And the gap has gone down now to 4.7, so something must have happened to Delphi Moura. We'll see the lap time. Darren Head also seems to have lost a bit of momentum there, and he is no longer too close to Peter Agent. Gonçalo Mota also lost a couple of car lengths, so let's have a look at the lap time now for Delphi Mora. I suspect it's not going to be a 1:29 this one. 1:29.980, that's the fastest lap of the entire weekend. For sure, it's probably faster than qualifying time. He's done a 1:30.9, and Diogo Silva still slower, a 1:31.5. The gap is 1:30.6, so 0.3 of a second faster. I apologize, the leaderboard was not being refreshed exactly in real time. Now this train continues to hold on, but not as in... Oh, and George just brushes the wall there. Fortunately, no damage in All Fox Racing PlayStation. George just there at number 28, and Scott Davely also with number 28. So the two number 28s are together. Simon Allen in the top 5 position, better than the 9th place he achieved in race 1 following that lap 1 incident. Then it's Peter Adrian. Peter has Darren Head for company, brushes the wall, loses a bit of time with that. Gonçalo Mota is a couple of seconds back, and then it's Kev Allen. We can still see Kev's car there at the back, and Kev has done a 1:32.7. that is faster than the two drivers ahead. The question is, he only has another 8 laps or so to recover some ground. Now Darren Head has had a good run. He's got good runs out of this corner for sure, and this is the second longest straight we have here at Long Beach. Doesn't quite work because he's a little bit too far behind. Maybe on the start finish line, or maybe again here on the next lap, or maybe you just go for the dive in the last corner. It didn't quite work. Very difficult to run close throughout the final corner. Darren Head did actually quite a good job there. He might have a run into turn 1, although if he had, he's probably too far behind. Gap at the front, it's 4.6 seconds as we reach the midpoint of this race. Diogo Silva in second. George Jesus has lost a bit of ground now. George Jesus has Scott Davely closer to him than he is closer than to... Scott is closer to George than George is to Diogo Silva, so George now more worried to protecting that podium position more so than attacking second place. Simon Allen, we have not seen too much of him. He's stayed in 5th place. He does not seem to have the pace necessarily to go and challenge for the podium, but still we have the second half of this race, which typically is with much worse tires. Let's see who is going to master that skill, as Darren Head again has a good run there, and now he's going for it. He's going to go side by side, and this is where we saw Darren make good moves in previous laps, and it seems to me that it's going to be job done, although Peter is not certain that he's going to let him through, and contact, and probably Peter should have yielded a little bit more. Darren Head ends up clipping the wall because he had to brake quite late. Peter was having none of it actually, and rightly so, as we expect. Close racing for sure with this Renault Clio. We still have 1 round to go in this championship in Sonoma Raceway. Last round of the season. Gonçalo Mota and Kev Allen have found each other for company. Gonçalo Mota's race not going the right direction. He's on a 1:37, so this must have been another mistake, and Kev Allen, who had that big wreck in lap 2 with Darren Head, all of a sudden can see a way of not being lost in this race, as Gonçalo Mota makes another mistake there in turn 1, clips the curb, goes on the two-wheeler, and he brushes the wall. Fortunately for these drivers, we do not run damage in All Fox Racing PlayStation. It's just visual damage that we run, and Gonçalo Mota is hitting the wall pretty much in... well, he hit the wall again. The wall is suffering the most in this race actually, as we'll see. Delphi Mora has done 1:30.9, so he's now managing the gap, so to speak. Diogo Silva has found himself a 1.5 second gap to Jorge Jesus, and the battle is not as intense as it was a few laps ago. Scott Davely is still going for that podium, and Simon Allen still has a word to say in this battle. Now the question is, who is going to manage the tires, or more importantly, who has managed the tires until now, so that they don't have crappy tires on the second half of the race. And Simon Allen seems to be losing a bit of steam there. He's done a 130.9 while Scott has done a 130.6. George Zouch also losing a bit of steam, and all of a sudden the American can see Scott Devlin. Look at these brushes the wall. This is what happens in the second half of the race, as that number 28 is defending from that number 28. Darren Head, by the way, is in 6th spot as he overtook Peter Adrian, and also Kev Allen has gone ahead of Gonçalo Motas. Gonçalo Motas' race is not definitely moving in the right direction, as he is now running in 9th spot. Kev Allen following that big wreck in lap 2, now still 7 seconds behind Peter. Peter in 7th place. He's in no man's land, so to speak. He's 2 seconds behind Darren Head. He's a few seconds ahead of Kev Allen. He's also clipping the wall. Let's have a quick look at the battle for 2nd place. How is it going? And look at this. Diogo Silva is now reducing the gap. The gap is just 4.2. Also interestingly, it just goes up and down throughout the lap. Let's look at lap times. Delphi Moran, not a particularly good lap, 131.460. Diogo Silva, not a great lap either, but half a second faster. George Zouch now has recovered a bit of ground, 138.72, and Scott Davey 139.75. Not much between 2nd, 3rd and 4th in terms of lap time. They running the same liveries and doing more or less the same lap times as well. Simon Allen is the odd one out because he's definitely slower at this point, 131.859. He's lost touch now with that group. He's 2.7 seconds behind. He's still ahead of Darren Head, 5 or 6 seconds, and Darren not doing particularly good lap times. He's running in free air though, but may have used his tires a little bit too much to recover ground following that lap 2 incident. Peter Adrian 132.0 and clipping the wall again there. Kev Allen is a fast man, 131.5. That's a good lap time, certainly compared with the drivers that he's battling with. And Gonçalo Mota also on the very low 132s. Now interesting, let's see what's happening with Delphi Moura, because he could well be that he's just managing the gap, but the gap is now down to 4 seconds, although it does tend to go up in the last stage of the lap. It seems to me that Delphi Moura is better at just gaining momentum from the last corner. You can see the gap is now 4.6. Lap time for the leader, it is lap 9, 135.60. That's a good one for Delphi Moura. Not a great lap time for Diogo Silva, 131 flat, and 133.22 for George Zouch, who all of a sudden is back in the mix for 2nd place, 139 for Scott David. That's not a bad lap time either, but slower than George at this point, and Simon Allen continues to be on the 131. He's definitely dropping back to his own race, and it seems to me that he will not be able to challenge beyond 5th place. At least it's better than what he achieved in lap 1 following that incident with Darren Head on the opening lap. Darren Head, not a great round for him, not a great race for him. He did finish 3rd in the opening race, but now just 6th place. It's maximizing points on the bad day that's often so crucial in Old Fox Racing PlayStation. He's done a 131.977, so he's not recovering any ground. Peter Adrian, not a particularly good lap time either, 133 flat, and drivers are just struggling now with tires, with Kev Allen also on the 32s, and so is Gonçalo Mota. But the hero that's at the front of the field is still doing 130s. The only other drivers that did that on the last lap were George Zouch and Scott Davey. Let's have a look now at the end of lap 10. What's the situation? There he is, a 130.7. Diogo Silva, he crossed the line as well at 130.6, so that's good, but a little bit of variation there between laps, and they're not hybrids that recover the energy on some laps and deploy it on others. It's just a very basic front-wheel drive car. as Diogo Silva clips the wall there. It's now becoming a bit of a norm for pretty much everyone. Gap is 4.7. Jorge Jesus did a poor lap, 131.2. Scott Davey also not the greatest lap, 131.3. Simon Allen 131.5. Darren Head is on the 132s, and so is everyone else behind him. In fact, no. Kev Allen and Gonçalo Mota. Gonçalo Mota still has a shot at 8th place, but only a couple of laps to go at the end of this one, so he's going to have to be quick, and this is maybe the opportunity, as Kev Allen has made a mistake there. Kev Allen has made a mistake. He did not spin, but lost a lot of momentum. Here comes Gonçalo Mota for 8th place on Kev Allen. Doesn't really work there the outside, but maybe now he can come out of this corner with more momentum. And what is Kev going to do? He's got the inside line. Gonçalo is going to go for the outside line, and they run side by side. This is good racing here, as both drivers aware of one another and giving each other enough room, which is what we want to see. But Gonçalo Mota certainly can see that 8th place is a distinct possibility. Lap 12 now for the leader, Delphi Moura, 136, and all of a sudden their lap times have gone a lot better. 134 for Diogo Silva, which is a pretty good lap considering that is lap number 11. Jorge Jesus a bit slower here with the 131.0, 131.5 for Scott, 131.0 also for Simon Allen, 131.6 for Darren Head, 132 for Peter Adrian, and the two drivers battling the closest in this racetrack are Kev Allen and Gonçalo Mota, battling for 8th place. We'll keep an eye on this battle, as well as the race leader and the gap. Gonçalo Mota clipped the wall there. Lap 12 for the leader. We are going almost on the last lap, and it's going to be a full sweep for Delphi Moura if he can hang on to this position. 2nd place man Diogo Silva, also 2nd place in race 1. Darren Head, who was 3rd in race 1, only 6th, with Jorge Jesus doing a 5th and a 3rd. So still quite open, the championship, but Delphi Moura most likely has enough wins to clinch the Transatlantic Cup, which will be his first championship win of the season, 2024 season, if it does happen, which looks quite likely. At this point we still have the Sonoma 2 races, but Delphi Moura has been the class of the field, and he's starting his last lap in that Monster Energy. What a monster performance we had here in Long Beach with the Clio. The first time we used this car, and certainly it seems to be a very good car here for Long Beach circuit. Diogo Silva, not a great lap there, 131.1, 131.6 for Jorge Jesus, 131.2 for Scott Davey, 132 for Simon Allen and Darren Head and Peter Adrian. But look at Kev Allen, he's done a 130.841. He's the 2nd fastest driver in the field, and he's definitely opened a gap to Gonçalo Mota, who unfortunately seems that he's going to finish in 9th place on this 2nd race. But what a monster performance for Delphi Moura. He is a couple of laps from the end of the race, a full sweep here at Long Beach circuit. We haven't been here in a while. We haven't run the Clio in an official championship event in All Fox Racing PlayStation. We do like this car, and look at this. Delphi Moura is already playing around with that Clio, and he sees the checkered flag to win race 2 here at Long Beach, followed by Diogo Silva, followed by Jorge Jesus and Scott Davey and Simon Allen. They all finished 3rd, 4th and 5th respectively. Darren Head is going to finish in 6th place. Peter Adrian is going to finish in 7th, sorry. 8th is going to be Kev Allen in that number 58, and Gonçalo Mota is going to finish in 9th place. All the drivers that started this race have finished, and this completes coverage of this round of Old Fox Racing PlayStation, with Delphi Moura winning both races, 2nd place Diogo Silva, and 3rd place, in this case in race 2, it was Jorge Jesus. That completes coverage of this round. We will not be able to do the coverage of the last round of the season. We can tell you that Delphi Moura did win the championship, so we shall see you most likely in the next championship that hasn't started yet. It's going to be with GTE cars, and it promises to be as close, as exciting, unpredictable, and chaotic as we like to see in all Fox Racing PlayStation. Until then, it's goodbye.